she spoke too soon. She was like, creating new live podcast. But I was like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. What is going on? 12-year films. He had to bail. He's on the east side. It's crazy. I could have swore like everybody on the east side told me to do later in the beginning. We have been 7:30 for a while though. Trevor was in the house. Trevor was in this house. Yes, he was. Now we're officially in here. Man, I have a confession to make, man. I wanted to roast. I just wanted to roast. I wanted to roast the commenters, I think. I wanted to go through all the comments on the Nikon ZR video. And I wanted to do like a massive response. Then I was like, nah, I don't want to. Who cares about that? Who cares about that? It was funny though to see all the responses on that video though, man. That was hilarious. But check this out. I thought I could have swore I did this video already, but then I was looking at the live streams. I'm like, no, we never really talked about like creating a tier list of like the best AKS. But then when you really, I think what we have talked about though is like, if we were to do that, you know, like I have the 3 basics on here: matte box, monitor, filters, right? But within each one of these categories is also its own tier list. Like I could easily do a whole tier list on filters. Watched your Nikon video. It was good. Thank you, Trevor. Thank you, bro. Dead Ringer video. What is this? What is this warlock? Warlock? What do you mean warlock? You see a warlock in here? Cognition. That lens looks sweet. Oh, this one. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about that warlock. Yes. This is what I wanted to talk about. If this is this what you meant by warlock? Sorry, there's a slight delay there. Yeah, the lens that is. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is gnarly. I don't know. Did you guys see this? This has been being fed down my throat in the Facebook land. So I'm like, oh man. And then after I'd already put the thing up about tier list, then I remembered about these damn lenses. And I was wanting to do like an actual full video dedicated to these things because these look nuts. Okay, first of all, so this is made by 7 artisans. It's PL mount only. It's not a set though. Oh, this is a Gerald Undone lens? Are you serious? Gerald Undone lens. Did he review this? Gerald reviewed this lens? Because look at this thing. Look at the this is the bokeh it has. Best accessory will always be lights, or does that count? Well, yeah. So back to that before well, we did have a whole tier list on lights, on just lights. And then but yeah, so this was kind of going to be more centered around camera department. Just the color. Oh, the color is the yeah, that's funny. That took me a minute to make that connection. But look at this crazy shit. So look at this. If you look at this focus scale here, yeah, color purple, I got you now. Look at this. So this is when the lens is focused to 4 meters. Are you seeing this? Look at the look at the bokeh, dude. Now look at it. Look what happens when it's at minimum focusing distance. So it's like this crazy like, oh, it reminds me of something. I'll come back to it. But okay, so that's the effect at minimum focusing distance. Then you have the effect at mid focusing distance versus effect at infinity focus. Are you seeing this? The bokeh is changing drastically from forward to background. And I mean, it is crazy. Look at this shit. It looks like the Christmas lights my mom used to use, like the long old school friggin' tungsten Christmas lights. I mean, they're upside down here, but that's what they look like, man. I mean, this is a gnarly lens. And I was like, wait, this would be pretty nuts. Like, cause look, this is like very euphoria, right? But wait, wait to look at, this is my favorite part. This is my favorite part of the marketing. This is my favorite part of the marketing. Look at this. This is so funny. Hold on. Let me blow this up a little bit. Oh, I don't want my head to block it. Damn it. I'm trying to get this as big as I can without blocking my, look at this. Core. I love this so much. Core storytelling motifs: hallucination, split personality, nightmare, supernatural phenomena, emotional immersion, memory fragments, conspiracy, technology, technology, headache, headache, post-explosion deafness, survival. Wait, what? Survival? Subconscious exploration, ruins adventure. Ruins adventure. Dude, why didn't they why didn't they just put Indiana Jones? Awakening after explosion, breathlessness, transformation, visual tension, acceleration, superpower awakening. Superpower awakening, heartbeat, or a semi-dream state. Dude, I'm sorry, but that is hilarious. Dude, that is the best marketing ever on one lens. That is so fucking good, dude. Oh my God, man. Hey, but they're not wrong, right? Like, you can see what they were going for, you know? Man, that's some killer marketing right there, dude. Post-nut clarity. Oh, man. When LSD becomes a corporate culture. The designer of this lens is currently at Betty Ford. Never drink when you create your marketing. No, I love it, dude. This is so good. But, you know, honestly, I was like, damn, I honestly could rock this lens. I mean, look at it. Like, this is my favorite. Like, the way that it changes based upon, I was just like, but I don't know, like, I wish it wasn't here. The craziest, nuttiest thing about this is that it's PL. Because, like, you see something like this and you're like, oh yeah, this would make way more sense with photos, right? But I mean, it would be cool with video too. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It'd be cool with video too. But it's like, wouldn't these sell way more if it was like in an M mount, like a total universal mount, rather than just one PL mount? Because also, like, when you see PL mount, my first thought is like, oh, they have a whole set of these fucking things. But no, they don't, which is even funnier. It's just the one 37mm lens. Hey, you know, you can't fault them. 37mm is kind of a boss focal length, right? You can't fault them for that. But I was thinking, like, man, if this was like an M mount or something, I think I would actually buy this thing. Because look, it's only $400 for the PL mount, which is even more insane. 7 Artisans, man. They are wild over there, dude. So wild. I kind of like it though. I kind of dig it. I just don't understand why it's PL mount. Oh man. Yeah, psychedelic halo. Yeah, it's pretty wild. But I could definitely, like, you would definitely like, think about it. Like, I feel like almost every project I've done could have used this lens. Seriously. The first one's free. It should definitely be M42. No, I'm not meaning like that, but here's the thing. It's fine. It's fine that it's PL mount. But I'm just saying, like, honestly, like, low key, I think they should man, I feel bad now, because now I feel like I've kind of like pushed this lens a little bit. I've sold myself. I'm mad because I've sold myself on this lens. Oh shit. I'm ordering one of those Warlock lenses off ARRI right now. I'll have till January 31st to return it. Might as well play with it for a couple months. Yeah, I mean, hey, yeah. But honestly, like, you honestly look, they have a 57mm too. They are creating a set. Dude, that's nutty. I don't think you would need a whole set of these, but I certainly could see, like, needing the 37mm, being like 37mm. That's a total universal focal length. That if you did have to shoot a whole movie with it, which hopefully you never do, but if you did, you could do it with 37mm, 100%. You could shoot a whole movie with only one 37mm lens. But I'm just saying, like, I think it might be worth it just to have one of these, because, like, again, every project I've done, I feel like could have used this. Like, think about, like, any drunk scene, or just any scene where you just want something a little funky, like running, like what they call it, survival. When you're in full survival mode. But it is true. Like, I mean, even in a comedy, you could use it. Certainly for, like, if there's any, like, drug scenes or something, like, I don't know. You could just, you would end up using it way more than you realize. I just feel like, wow. I feel like you could have a lot of fun with it, especially like knowing that the bokeh changes the way it does. You could just put like diopters on it. You could put diopters on it and then control, you know, what you wanted the bokeh to look like even more. Because with a diopter, it would make it focus even closer. So then you can get even more of these like wild effects that you want, even when needing, like for instance, like if you wanted the infinity focus, you could use a diopter. Oh no, that doesn't make sense. No, okay, I got myself twisted up there. I was thinking there for a minute, like, would diopters help you control this even more? I think to some extent, but I don't think you'd be able to get this full infinity focus effect with diopters even. I don't think so, because you would still need it focused all the way at minimum. Yeah, that's not a true statement, because you would be stuck with this with diopters. I was just trying to, maybe with like a split diopter. Maybe you could get a split diopter and then you could have one side of it look like this, but then the other half would be like that. That would be nuts. Yeah, you could animate the bokeh changing. Oh, that's true too. Yeah, you could animate it. You could shoot plates with the bokeh. That would be cool. A 57 of the Floral Bloom lens. Yeah, I don't know if I would get a 57 though. I mean, that's pretty gnarly, but probably for people that are on Super 35. Oh, I'm sorry, not Super 35, I meant to say. But I don't care. I think 37 mil is, that would, it's pretty dirt cheap lens. Now I wish I wouldn't have talked about it, because, I didn't mean for that to turn into an ad. I just thought it was a crazy lens though. Yeah, I'm putting money on Justin having a ZR in this lens by January. Use it as a taking lens on an anamorphic lens. Oh, good grief. No. What is the front size of it? Did it say down there at the bottom? No, I would not want to put like an ivoscope on this thing. Oh, I think I would puke. I think I would puke, dude, seriously. But I think it would be a gnarly effect, but I think it would be too intense to put an anamorphic adapter on this thing. Where the hell were the specs? Here they are. 72 mil. Oh my gosh. 72 millimeter front. I think it's too big for like an ivoscope. I think ivoscope cuts off at a certain size. Dang, I forget now. I want to say 58, but man, I almost even want to say 52, but that can't be right. 52 is way too small. I think 58 is the cutoff for the ivoscope. Were you a dog shit optics guy? Oh yeah, dog shit optics were great. Yeah, I did have a low-key obsession with them. I think the 57 is just a oh, I see. They are also going to release a 77 mil in that 7 Artisans Floral series. A 77 millimeter of focal length? Nah, man. I don't think you have a need for a whole set of these. Like, I think if you did a whole movie on these, I don't know, man. Like, what is your movie? Requiem for a Dream or what, man? Like, what like, I mean, like, I was just thinking about the 137 just to have like a, you know, kind of like how I just always bring my Noctilux with me everywhere too, because it's like cool to have like these certain kind of weird lenses, you know, because you never know when you're shooting something. I like to bring all of my lenses, honestly. Sometimes, usually, I mean, if it's a narrative thing, I'll bring all of my lenses. But you know, I'm not gonna bring all my lenses to some corporate bullshit. But certainly narrative, I like to bring every kind of weird lens that I have, because you never know like what you're gonna need, you know. I kind of kicked myself in the butt for selling my 15 mil. I had an old Voltlander 15 mil. It was really nice, and I don't know, man. I guess like I just started thinking like I don't use that. I don't use it in reality enough, which was true. And the one time that I had used it, I was like, man, I feel like a 21 could have gave me the same result, but even better. That's what I thought, because I was like, I feel like the 15 is just too wide on full frame. It was just too wide. It was too unyieldy, you know. I don't know how I got down that rabbit hole right there. Yeah, 58 millimeter sounds right. I have one. Want me to check? Yeah, Cognition. You should check. I think it's 58 on that ivoscope. Does it show the outer diameter? I bring all my lenses for narrative as well. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That the outer diameter is... Oh, you mean the outer diameter. Yeah. It should be on here, though. No, they don't say. They don't say what the outer diameter is. A whole movie shot with these would have to come with an epileptic seizure warning. Yeah, I know. I think so, too. Yo, the focus throw is 300 degrees. 300 degree focus throw? Wow, that's pretty good, though, huh? Wow, man. Yeah. It sounds really intriguing. Full frame, it's only a T2.9. Oof. Oof. They couldn't have made that thing a T2? Could you imagine this crazy thing as a T2? That would be even crazier. But I mean, it's pretty gnarly. I just feel like T2 would have helped it out a little bit more. I wonder why they didn't try to make it faster. It would have probably made the size of it way, way bigger. Way, way bigger. But honestly, I like this subway effect right here. Like, I like the kind of stuff they're doing with it. It's wild, man. You know what else I was looking at? What was it? I think Light Lens Lab have some lenses coming out too. Check these out. I don't know. I think they have new M-mount lens. These guys are always making something. But what was that? What was I looking at? They have something brand new coming out here. It was oh yeah, so it's this. Oh yeah, so they remade the 35mm 1.4 aspherical. But seriously, I think you'd use this more expect on a movie. Yeah, you would use it more than you would expect. I think so too, but I don't think you need the whole set. But yeah, I think honestly, almost every project I have done, I have tried to like do weird shit at least in one scene. I'm talking about the narrative projects. Even music videos, 100% on music video, 100% on music video. You know what I'm saying? Music videos, you would definitely, you know, but in narrative stuff, you know, you would definitely. I think so, man. Just should we look at their list again? Dude, I love this. They should make stickers. They should make stickers of this. This is so funny, dude. Core storytelling motifs. Someone reading this knows nothing what is going on about it. They'd be like, "Oh fuck yeah, this movie sounds awesome." Oh shit. Oh man. J.J. Abrams would have a field day with this lens. Yeah, man. I think I would too. I should see if they want me to review one. It's just so I could like check it out, just like without having to invest in it first, you know? I forgot I sold my taking lens. I just have the Ibiscope and a Rectilux diopter on that, but it's small. It looks right. Oh, that's right, because it doesn't have the size on the back, huh? I think it was 50. Man, for some reason though, I want to say 52, but 52 sounds too small. I guess I have to ask Google now. Ibiscope rear filter size, or what is it called? Like rear size. I'm just gonna put rear size. This will tell me though. The Ivor rear is 38mm. No, that's old. 38mm. That's way wrong. Here it is. Lens mounting clamp 52. It is only a 52. Holy crap, that's tiny. I didn't realize it was that small. Now, how did that work? Oh, you know what I used to do? Because I'm just sitting here thinking like, how the hell did I used to get my, because my 60mm Leica R macro is what I used to use as like my main standard taking lens with this friggin' thing. So I would put this in front of the Leica R 60mm. Oh, beautiful combo, by the way. Beautiful combo, by the way. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. And it was, but the front of that is a way bigger than this. And I forgot what I used to do was I bought a coupler. So I bought a 52, yeah, I think I did a video on this actually. I had a 52mm to 52mm coupler. And then that way, one side screwed into the back of the Ibiscope, and then the other side, I put a cine ring on it from Simod Lens, or you can get them from Duclos, any of those, you know, like a cine ring. So then it was like, it turned into like this kind of like donut. Like the cine rings became like a reverse donut. And then I would just push it all the way on top of the taking lens. You know, because the cine rings are what, like an 80mm outer diameter? And the 60mm is like under that, you know? And then it would just go kunk, and it was like a little metal rubber donut. That's what I used to do. But you have to have it on rails, of course. I didn't try to attach it directly to the lens. If it's on rails, you can use the cine ring like a donut. Man, you know what? I do kind of miss this thing, but it was so like, ooh, time consuming. So time consuming. Where it was just like, I feel like this is a thing that's not made for how I was trying to use it, You know, of people being like, what are we waiting on? You know, like, what is he doing over there? You know, and you got like, you got to take the one lens off, then you got to slide that one forward. And if that slides forward, then the matte box has to slide forward. And it's like, good grief, dude. Just get on with it. And then it gets to the point where you're like, oh, we better not change the lens. So then you're just stuck, dude. You're stuck with, but you know what? The 60 mil is what I use the most anyways. Like I use the 60 mil the most anyways. So it was nice. But I don't know if anamorphic adapters belong on the back to what we're supposed to be doing. We just slide right in like we've been doing it the whole time. I still have my Rapido stuff. Oh, the Rapido stuff. Yeah, dude, I always wanted to get into Rapidos too. 52 mil is like the Nikon standard from the 1950s. That's nuts. Yeah, it's very tiny. Very tiny. Okay, let's start this off. I don't think that, look, the lens, I don't even know if we should call lenses AKS. I feel like, wait, do the lenses count as AKS? Guys, we should take a poll on that. Like type 1 in the chat if you think that, or just somehow just let me know if you think that lenses are considered part of Camera AKS. I mean, I guess they are, but also I'm just like, but they have their own like case. They're the lenses, you know, like I feel like in my world, I have the camera case, I have the lens case, and then I have the AKS case. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like, I guess that's what I meant by AKS. And that's why I guess I was surprised that some people were talking about lighting gear and stuff, because in my brain, like lights and stuff aren't really part of that. You know, like I've never thought of lights as AKS, like specifically like Camera AKS. But I guess I'm so like anal and analytical and neurotic to where my brain is like, no, the AKS means camera accessories. But I don't know what, but I mean, I guess it could mean literally anything, right? But in my brain, like I windle it down to department, and then I'm like, what only goes in the AKS case, you know? And for me, it's like, that's kind of where you have the matte box, you have the monitor, you have the filters, but then there's like, I just put these first because there's so much more beyond that, you know? Whereas I kind of see the lens as like a given, you know? But I guess, I mean, obviously, I mean, look, if we're going to include lenses in this, then they would obviously be S tier, right? Like lenses would just be S tier, you know? And yeah, if you only were going to buy one lens, wouldn't that be funny if I recommended some? Hey, if you only had money for one lens, you should totally get this goddamn epic purple lens that will allow you to get all of these core storytelling motifs. Oh shit, man. I mean, it would be hard to be like, it's just funny now to think like if we're going to include lenses into the S tier, like let's say, oh, what's AKS? Not really for me. Lenses is not AKS. Yeah, exactly. All kinds of shit. Yeah, 100%. That's what we've always called it too. If you want to be specific stuff like Bright Tangerine is at the top. Right. Well, that's what I was like. So like these images don't necessarily need to go with the brand, because like the problem is when I was beginning to get the idea for this, I'm like, this is almost stupid. Like this is almost impossible, because like you could have a whole tier list just for matte boxes, you know? And yeah, I would put Bright Tangerine near the top for sure. Like to me, Bright Tangerine is like S tier, because I've had their shit for years, and it gets knocked around, boy. It gets toe up, and it has never like actually got tore up. You know what I'm saying? Like it has not like fallen apart or like broken or something. So I mean, that is one thing to say about them. You know, like I've always in my brain, I've always put the Bright Tangerine like in the same level as like ARRI matte boxes. And honestly, like after seeing a few of those, I'm like, dude, I think Bright Tangerine's better than that even, you know? like honestly, like, I hate to like, you know, talk shit about like such an iconic brand like ARRI. But when you talk about ARRI matte boxes, it's just like, well, first of all, it's matte boxes. But like, I think I like the Bright Tangerine stuff so much because it's so lightweight, but it's also so strong. But it's also so expensive, you know? So that's why I say, but I do think like matte box to me, like if you're not thinking about brand, right? Like stop thinking about brands and just think of like matte box. when I hear the word matte box, to me, if I'm doing something narrative, like, yeah, I 100% want a matte box. I need the matte box because the next thing that's going to be in the S tier is my filters, you know? So I guess when I was first thinking about this list, I guess this is where we can actually start the video. Thanks a lot, fucking Ghost Lens. 7 artisans fucked up my tier list video. Got me off track, you bastards. But filters and matte box are going to be 100% like the first things that I would buy, right? Or like put together when I'm thinking about building a kit for like the next like short film or maybe the next feature film that I'm doing, you know, like I would be like, okay, so we know the camera we're going to have, we know the lenses we're going to have. The very next thing is going to be like filters, right? So that's why matte box and filters are always going to be S tier. And I guess I've been thinking about this question a lot lately because people just ask me this all the time. Like people ask me like, what should I get next? You know, I just got this camera with this lens. What should I buy next? And I'm like, you know, me like, honestly though, right before I said that, because I do think 2 things actually. I actually think 2 things: filters, but then also power, right? Like how are you gonna power your camera? Because even think of a camera like the FX6 that comes with like a really, honestly, a pretty powerful battery. Like, but it's also like, it's like, nah, you need them gold mounts or V mounts, you know, like you need the big boy batteries, you know, mainly because then, you know, for insurance, you know, for true insurance, like true insurance, assurance, reliability, you know, your camera's not going to die, you know? So honestly, we should probably drop some power in here too, because this is like one of those things where it's like, but here's the thing too. I guess maybe matte box doesn't necessarily need to be S tier, because maybe you're going to only have screw-on filters. Like maybe you only have the budget for screw-on filters. And then it's like, well, you got to do what you got to do, you know? So if you only have the budget for screw-on filters because you're just using the filters that you already own, then that's what you do. So then you wouldn't even have to monkey around with a matte box. You know, you really wouldn't. I think some people want the matte box to like look cool. Honestly, I've seen it happen on big sets, guys. Like sets where I was like not there as a DP, right? I'm talking about sets where I was there as the one I'm specifically thinking about. I was the key grip on it. And this was a pretty large music video. This was a big music video. You guys know who these people are. And so this is what happened. They walked up all like quiet and stuff. And I was like, oh shit, like what's going on? You know? That's what I do on set. Oh shit, people are talking quietly to each other. Something's about to go down. But then, you know, they walk away, and then, you know, the DP comes up to us and he's like, did anybody bring a matte box? Because they didn't have a matte box. But they weren't like, I guess they didn't need, I don't know. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, it didn't start with a matte box. So I don't know if it got lost or it fell off the truck or whatever. But it's just so funny that the producers, right, the powers to be came in, and that's what they requested. And I just, when you see that happen in real time, you're just like, bro, what the fuck? like that is some crazy nutty shit to worry about, you know, in my brain. But, and you're probably sitting there going, why would they request, like if they're not using filters? Well, they want it so it looks cooler when the artist comes in. You know what I'm saying? Like when the artist comes in, they expect to be like, you know, in Hollywood mode or something. You know what I'm saying? So they wanted that matte box on the camera to appear more like a traditional Hollywood set, I guess. Because that's literally why they requested it. They requested it for the artist. So you know, when you see that happen in real time, you're like, oh my God, dude, like that's a real thing. So that's why I've always said, like, a lot of people use matte boxes to look cool, you know, and they do, because if there's no filter in there, to me, it's never really made sense, right? I mean, unless you're really trying to, you got some sun, you're backlighting like crazy, right? So if you're backlighting like crazy, then you got your eyebrow all the way down. but most of them don't even have the fucking eyebrow on. You know what I mean? So if there's no filter and there's no eyebrow, then you know, like, they're not even using that fucking matte box, dude. Like, and I've seen that happen a lot. So I don't even know if a matte box would be S tier. Obviously, it would be if you have, you know, industry standard size filters. Now, here's the thing too, like, the filters, don't waste your money on these 4x4. Like, don't do that. Like, I did that in the beginning. In the beginning, I was like, bro, 4x4, because it is true, guys. It is true. You know, we all know our cine lenses have gotten a lot smaller nowadays, and 4x4 filters will cover up to a 100 millimeter front. So when you think of, like, you know, I mean, look at the size of that one we were just looking at, this one. The size of this one, wasn't it even smaller than 77 mil in the front? But I mean, the Nisis are 77 mil. Like, all of the more modern cine lenses are even the Zeiss Super Speeds, I think, are 80 mil fronts. Yeah, these are only, okay, we don't know the outer diameter. Yeah, it does look kind of big though. Oh, 79, there it is. 79? 79. See these random off sizes? I don't understand that. Just make it 80. 80 is the standard. This drives me nuts when they do this shit. But I mean, you see, like, a 4x4 filter will cover this lens. A 4x4 filter will cover this lens. But that's the trap, because then you go on eBay, right? You'll go on eBay and you go, hey man, I really want to get a Hollywood Blackmagic filter, right? So we're looking for a Hollywood Blackmagic filter. Now, when you start seeing the prices, you compare, like, look at this 4x4. The 4x4 is $262. But the 4x5, which is actually the size that you should be investing in, is like double the price, right? Well, nearly double the price. So then what you'll be inclined to do is you'll be like, no, I'm going to buy the 4x4 because it covers my lenses anyways. But then what happens is it just turns into be a horrible investment, right? Because everything else that is standard in the industry has moved away from this. Or maybe never even was, right? 4x4 is more for like a photographic world, right? So this is like, oh, oof, you know, and then that's still nearly $300 that you invested in that in a few years you're going to be trying to get back, and you ain't going to get it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, filters are not going to retain their value, like a return on investment, the same way lenses do, right? And even lenses are pretty bad at it, depending on what they are. But filters, like, no one is going to want to pay you what you paid for a filter. I don't know why. It's crazy as shit, because filters, like, are the one thing that, like, dude, if it's not scratched, that thing is new. It's good as new. If it's not scratched, it's as good as new. But for some reason, people don't let that shit sink in. Like, you can keep filters in way better condition than lenses ever dreamed of, right? Because lenses, way more happens to lenses in terms of, like, more than just the glass. But yeah, there's way more elements of glass involved. You can get way more dust. This, you can actually at least clean it on both sides. You know, there's no internal elements of glass with these filters, right? So, I mean, like, you would think that they would retain their value more, but sadly they don't. And you want to know why? Because 4x4 is not the standard. If you invested in the 4x5, 0.65, but I call them 4x5, you know, or they might refer to these as Panavision size or whatever. But this is the standard. If you had these, first of all, you probably wouldn't be reselling them, right? Because you kind of end up collecting your filters. And these goddamn 4x4 ones made for the photographic world, they kind of become like the oddball of your collection, and you're like, I got to get rid of these fucking black sheep, and you just won't be able to. Or if you do, you're going to have to cut the price on them so much that you're not going to want to get rid of them. All I'm trying to say is, filters are like to me, filters are an S tier investment. Now, look, I understand with all like the cool like apps and stuff now, like Dehancer, Lens Node, there's even one that created a whole thing of filters, like digital post-production filters. Like, I get it, but I don't know, for some reason, maybe it's the old man in me or what, but like, for some reason, filters to me are S tier, and they always will be S tier. And I don't care about the brand, so to speak, but I am a little bit of a loyal brand bitch when it comes to filters. I really, like, in my personal kit, I only have Tiffin, Schneider, or like B&W. I don't like to invest in other, well, The one that has been surprising, there's like when you get into the world of variable NDs, then it's a little bit more okay. I kind of lean a little bit like I'll go astray on variable NDs because they're all shit, you know. But I will like to venture out and explore all of them that I can, and not worry so much about brand, because in the world of variable ND, not even brand name can protect them from the atrocities of what variable NDs can do to your image. You understand what I'm saying? So, but when it comes to like diffusion filters, nah, you know, like I don't, you know, I only want the original, you know, which to me is Schneider and Tiffin. Honestly, those are the two originals, and those are the best ones to invest your money in. But look, you might not care about filters the way that I do. The reason why I've always been obsessed with filters, and they'll always be S tier to me, and they'll always be the first thing that I would suggest anyone to invest in after they have their camera, their lenses, and their goddamn power, which I forgot to put on here. But power is pretty important. But I don't think it's like, it's also like pretty like standby. You know, like power is one of those things where you're like, yeah, we're going to have that. That's a given, right? And that might be one of those things where it's like, okay, now we can go down the world of brands, like what gold mount or V mount batteries are better than these other ones or whatever. But in the world of filters, I mean, it's kind of like a given of like, it's going to be Tiffin and Schneider. And sure, you can take your chances with some knockoff wannabes or whatever, and everybody is getting their hand in the pie in that area, you know, and some of them are being really successful at it. But the reality is, like, someone to me that's like a purist to some degree, I'm like, nah, dude, like, I'm going to want the real ones, you know, I'm going to want Schneider and Tiffin because they have the filters that I know what they do. But the reason why it's so important to guys like me is because I started with fucking, you know, very, you know, whatever lenses I could get. You know what? I think in the very beginning, I had Konicas. You know, like the Konicas, like the they're cool. They're cool. I had a 40 mil. I had a 55 mil. I may have had like a 28. I don't know. Like, you know, very generic. You know, but even then, I mean, they have a lot of flavor on their own. Because then if you don't have that, then what all I'm using is like the micro 4/3 lenses on the GH5 or something, you know, or back then it was like the OG pocket, which I had all those Lumix lenses for that went on the GH5 that also fit the Blackmagic pocket, the original, you know. And so it's always been filters for me of being like, that's my pretend childish way of building a unique set of lenses, right? Like that's always been like my philosophy behind it is like, well, if I know the characteristic of the lens, I can find a filter that could try to mimic the characteristic of that lens, and then I can have that look on this little short film that I'm going to go do or whatever. And I've always done that. I don't know. There's a sense of pretend in that, right? Because, you know, it doesn't matter what you use. Well, certainly now with Lens Node, you could get even closer to it, right? So you build it in the day with your filters that you've chosen. And then later on in Lens Node, you can get in there and like really get the effects of like a Cook or something, which is pretty cool. But there will always be this part of me that wants to get it as close as I see it in my brain on the day. You know, does that make any sense? Like, I was just having a conversation with Marianne today about this, where I was talking about, because someone was asking me about color grading something, and you know, I was like, well, because honestly, the first thing I think about is like, well, when I color grade my own stuff, I only worry about exposure and contrast. But the difference is like the reason why I only there's two main reasons, and you know one of them, but there's two main reasons why I only have to worry about exposure and contrast on my own stuff. And the first one is because I am colorblind, I don't want to take any more chances, right? But the other one is on the jobs that I or whatever it is, on anything that I shoot, I already know what my white balance is. I've already chosen the color on the day. And Marianne was a little confused by that. She was like, well, what's the difference? I'm like, well, the difference is if you do it on the day, I don't have to worry about it ever again. That's the color I wanted. I figured it out on the day I was shooting. I figured it out before I got there even. And I figured it out with Set-A-Light. So Set-A-Light 3D, they now have the option for me to change the white balance of both the camera and the lights while I'm building the shot design. So I can see what it's doing to the you know, the virtual talent's skin and I can see like where I want to put the white balance in the camera and where I want to put the white balance on the on the lights. And so what happened to me, I was on a music video, the Spite music video. If you guys saw the Spite music video, I was the cinematographer on that, the director of photography on that. And what happened was the gaffer had to step out on day 2. So he steps out on day 2, and the key grip fills his place. The first thing the key grip asks me is, why is the camera set to 7,000 white balance? Well, the first thing I thought of is, why is the key grip asking me, the director of photography, why I put the white balance and what I put on? But it's fine. Like, I don't mind educating people. I don't want to do it when I'm working, and I don't want to do it when someone asks me in a very kind of like, I don't know, almost like inquisitive way, you know, like he's someone that is above me, wanting to know why we have the white balance at this. But I just told him, I go, because that's what I want it to be, you know. And then he said, and then he goes, yeah, but we can control the lights. And I go, I know, but I have you guys put the lights to what I want the lights to be, and I put the camera to what I want it to be. And then he asked again, and then so I was like, you know what, dude, we don't need to worry about the white balance right now. Nobody's worried about that right now. And I walked away, you know, because it's just like, but it was baffling for so many reasons. The first reason it was baffling is because why is a key grip demanding to the DP why the white balance is a certain way? Well, I guess it was because now all of a sudden he's our stand-in gaffer. But even still, even a gaffer should never be demanding why the white balance is a certain way. Now, someone like me, what I would do is I go, oh, are you sure you want to be a 7,000? You know, so I can just figure out, right? And maybe it was just more like the demeanor of this human being of why I took it like abrasively, you know? Maybe he just is that in his everyday life. He just always is very like, you know, which is a common thing, I guess, for a lot of guys working on set, you know? But with me, I'm just like, bro, don't come around here like that, you know? Like if you really wanted to know the answer to the question, you know, you would ask it in a genuine way. You would ask it in a humble way. That's how a part of me knew that he didn't want to know, right? He wanted to act like he knew what it should be. You know what I'm saying? And the reality is like people like that don't work how I work, right? Where I've already, you know, because the day before, unbeknownst to him, because he was standing in, right? Unbeknownst to him, I had already, you know, had that conversation with the gaffer we hired, you know, about like what I want the color temp of all the lights to be, you know, and I didn't even have, you know, I didn't bother telling the gaffer what my white balance was going to be in camera, because the gaffer doesn't fucking need to know that shit. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, they just don't. But if they want to know, I tell them, well, that's because that's what I want it to be. You know, but I think that's so bizarre to some people to be like, he's dialing in the color on the day. But yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to get it as close to what the color is going to be on the back end for multiple reasons, but also like, let's save ourselves a little time here. You know, like if this is the look we want, and also it's like once that is the color that you're looking at, and this is why a lot of, you know, high budget sets have a real DIT, you know, because that is like the on-set colorist, right? So they have that. And the reason why they have that is so everybody looking at Video Village, like the people that matter, you know, like the talent, the producers, the director, if they get used to looking at that one color, right? They're not gonna like freak out when something new is presented to them later on when it's post-production time. You know what I mean? They're not gonna be like, what the fuck is this? Why does it look like this, right? Because your brain gets used to seeing it a certain way. That's why they always tell the editors to not edit in log. Like most of the editors that I know, the first thing they'll do is like put a color space transform or throw a LUT or something onto the footage so they don't get used to looking at it in log, because like looking at it in log affects the editing, because it's affecting their emotional insides on like on a subconscious level or something, you know, because they're just constantly looking at gray flat footage in their editing, you know, they're supposed to be making something dynamic. You know, it kind of fucks with their psyche a little bit. You know, it's pretty wild when you think about it, but I mean, it makes sense, you know. So, anyways, yeah, but to tell you all that is to just say, I mean, it's one of the reasons why I lean into the filters so much, because there's so much part of that process for me about what is happening to the overall look of the image, and I love locking that in, man. There's a little bit of like ownership to it, even more, right? When you put those filters on, it's just sprinkling more of that little signature on there, you know. Now sometimes that might bite you in the ass. That has happened. That has happened. I've gotten a little crazy in my younger days. When when I say younger days, I literally mean 5 years ago. When I was shooting a movie with the Blackmagic Pocket camera, the 4K Blackmagic Pocket cinema camera. We had to do this like epic outdoor shot. It was supposed to be epic, right? In my brain, it's epic, right? We're in my brain, we're doing fucking There Will Be Blood. The reality is, it's just me and a camera. Well, and then Tristan holding a 5-in-1. But yeah, in my head, we're fucking making the next P.T. Anderson movie. But so we had to do this outside thing, right? It was like the grass is real high. Like it was so high, man. It was taller than my waist. We're in really high grass, like the dead desert California grass, man. Because we were way out, way like on the way to Vegas, dude. Filming in like no man's land, literally, dude. And so I was like, okay, this is gonna be cool. And I had all my filters with me. And I said, today, I remember being excited about it too. I was like, today, we're going to use the tobacco filter. Oh no. Tobacco filter number 2. Now, for those of you that don't know what a tobacco filter is, it's exactly as it sounds. It's pure brown. Pure brown. Who makes it? I think you got to put in the brand name. Here it is. So here they are right here. They're pure brown. And it was a number 2. So it was the middle one, right? So it's very heavy, right? And I go, yeah, dude, this is going to be rad, man. It was later on. When you see the footage, you're like, ooh, what was he doing there, dude? And it's so out of left field because it's just like, it's like all of a sudden the movie is brown. Oh, shit, dude. Like, I don't know why in my brain, like I had this like amazing, like, I guess I was envisioning the edit and how it would, I don't know. But they just went with a straight cut kind of thing. And it didn't really work. So, you know, when you think about filters in this aspect, you know, you got to be a little bit more mindful about what you're doing. Because the negative side of filters is that there is no reverse button. There is no undo button. There was no way we could ever fix that footage. Because I shot it through a goddamn brown filter. But on the day, I had myself convinced and everyone else convinced that it was badass. Oh shit, dude. It was the opposite of badass. But it was wild. It was wild. And you know what? I think what they ended up doing is they kind of like toned it down so bad that it was pretty much almost black and white. like I think that's what they had to do. It was like, wow, dude, I totally shit the bed on that one. You know, but at the same time, what helped though, the truth is that it did help like what we were trying to do with that scene. It just wasn't, it wasn't the right kind of help. You know what I'm saying? But it did kind of force, ultimately, I guess it kind of still served its purpose because we did still force that scene to feel different, right? Even if it was a little on the extreme side. But you see, even with these, this is $600 for this set of 3. Whoo, doggy. And that's the sale use price, you know what I mean? Oh man, I let it rip too long there. Had everyone smoking the tobacco. Hey, can we take this LUT off? It's a LUT, right? Yeah, it's a LUT, dude. But didn't you see it on the day of? Did you see how the fine filter looked as you were shooting? Yeah, that's what I mean. On the day, like, I was convinced it looked badass. and I convinced everyone else it did too. It was just like, it was like the adrenaline and just like, it looked badass. I'm not gonna lie. But I guess what it means is like, I guess the funny part of it where it didn't work is in the final cut. On its own, sure, it looked badass. On its own, it looked badass. But in like a full feature length movie, to cut to one scene that's just like, whoa, it just, the movie wasn't cut in a way that would make that cut to make sense. You know what I mean? Like it should have been, yeah, it wasn't the right choice. It wasn't the right choice, looking at it as a whole, you know. And I guess that's a good note, you know, because back then, that was the first feature film I ever shot. I never shot a feature film before that. So I guess that's one of the biggest lessons about it is like, yo, when you shoot a feature film, you're shooting more than 10 pages. You know what I mean? So like, you want to really envision how that whole movie is going to look, so you don't have any little oddballs hanging out. What is it? I just gotta get. But yeah, man, that the tobacco will get you down on that one. Tobacco 2, it was so strong. Just found your channel and love your vids, man. Off topic, but I just got a 12K first time filmmaker grant. Ooh, thinking about picking up a ZR for doc and commercial work. Recommend for or against it? I'm an editor by trade and slowly learning cinematography. Get a FX6, mate. Hoping to have some money left over for other gear. Oh, got a 12K. Oh, I'm sorry. So you got 12,000. When I read 12K, I thought my brain immediately thought about the Blackmagic 12K camera. I think ZR is going to give you your most bang for your buck and give you the most amount of money left over. But with something like the ZR, you're going to need way more accessories. Versus if you were to get like an FX6, like what they were saying, like J-Mob was saying, yeah, an FX6 is going to get you way further out the box. Out the box is going to get you way further, just in terms of like, you know, if you're talking about movie making, you know. But if you just need something to go shoot some B-roll with, then yeah, that's nothing. I mean, the ZR would be the perfect B-roll camera, you know. But it just really depends, you know. It comes down to what you're trying to do or what you want to do with it. But yeah, man, if it was me, I don't know. I guess it would come down to for doc and commercial work. Ooh, for docs, okay, yeah, I would definitely need to get like an FX6 for documentary stuff. Just that's me, man. But I'm the type of person that's like, I don't want to mess around with anything else. You know what I mean? Like the FX6, I just pick it up and I go, dude. Like literally, like it doesn't matter who calls me, whether it's a music video, a talking head, if it's a fucking, they just want to film like some sporting event, if it's a short film, it doesn't matter who calls me. The FX6, I know all I need is a lens and my little filter case, and I'm out the door. You know, literally one lens. Obviously, I mean, I have more than one lens. I mean, here's the thing. You could do that with most cameras, I guess, technically, but not really. You really can't. Dude, when I do a talking head with my FX6, dude, I'm so lazy. I'll run the XLR cable from the FX6 all the way across the room into the boom pole. I've done that. I had to do that recently. There was no audio guy. I showed up. And luckily for them, I always bring my mic with me. You know, I just always have the coffin like full of its crap, like its essentials, you know? But I'm like, I'm glad I did, because, you know, I get there and there's no audio guy. I can't remember the last time, I guess my corporate stuff. It's been a couple years, because on my corporate stuff, you just know. Like when you're on corporate stuff, you know, like, okay, I gotta do my own audio because it's a corporate thing. But like this was like a documentary. So I just assumed there was going to be audio, but there was no audio. But I didn't even care, dude. I was just like, who cares? Like, I just ran the XLR directly into the Sony, and they loved it. They loved like, oh, you got it right into the camera. Like they loved that. And I'm like, dude, this is the way to go, dude. Just who cares? And I mean, to do that on a ZR, you're going to need a lot more crap on that camera. You know what I mean? You're going to need a, you know, and also like dude, you want to hear the funniest part about it? Like the FX6 also has like auto, you know, you can auto level that stuff. I mean, I'm just saying, like, those cameras are so insane, you know, and when it comes to just, I guess, to the point of my life right now, I'm just like, dude, like when it comes to the gear, right? Now I'm talking about the gear, right? Because we just had like a great, beautiful, poetic, philosophical conversation about filters and why filters are so important. But now we're talking about cameras. And I just like, I mean, I get it. Like the camera sensor is kind of like the film emulsion, right? Because, you know, back in the day, you could change the look just by simply changing the film. But now it's like, ooh, if you're not renting these cameras, you're investing into like this one film stock, right? Because that's all the sensors are. The sensors have become the new film stock. That's what it is. So you get married, but you're married to that. But the problem is I see it for me, why I don't care, is like the sensors are all the same to me. I'm not seeing, and maybe it's down to my color blindness, but when it comes to me, I'm not seeing the difference unless it's like a dynamic range difference or a rolling shutter difference, believe it or not. Like those are the differences that I see. When I look at all these different images, I don't see the differences in color. I don't see it that way. People claim that they can, and God bless if they really are. But me, I don't. They all look the same. All these sensors look the same to me in the digital world. So that's what's becoming really hard for me to care about what the camera is, other than like, how convenient is it for me to use? You know what I mean? But also, hey, yeah, I am kind of old and I'm like, but I'm not like fucking decrepit, dude. You know what I mean? Like I'm active as shit. You know, like I still am literally the same size I was when I was a freshman in college. So it's not like I'm getting all fat and out of shape or something, right? But I think it's just like my patience. I don't have the patience anymore to sit there and go, well, this is the camera I wanted and I'm just going to build it out like a Franken rig. That used to be fun, I guess. But that just, I can't think of any more horrible idea ever. You know what I mean? But I think the part of my disdain towards it comes from the frustration of forcing myself to work like that time after time after time. The frustration of like, yeah, dude, like 6-7 years of forcing myself to shoot on these Frankenstein cameras. And you just get wore out, dude. You just get so wore out where you're like, dude, I just want all of this stuff to be in the box, you know? And that's what happened to me. You get pushed to the point of like, just give me a camera where I don't have to think about the stupid little things like ND, or I don't have to worry about like, what if I just have to go shoot this crazy thing all by myself? Well, I'm not the greatest at pulling focus, but I don't have to worry about that either. Like, and this is the funny thing too, like the Nikon, boy, dude, this is why I wanted to do a roast on the video, because so many of the comments were just so hilarious to me. But people were really giving me shit because I didn't program the camera the right way for the autofocus to work the way it was supposed to. That's the most ridiculous shit to say to someone who is a Sony guy. It doesn't matter what mode I put the Sony autofocus in. Guess what, guys? It's going to fucking work amazingly no matter what mode it's in, right? So I'm like, it's fine that the Nikon needs to be in a certain mode, but that's kind of whack that's the excuse for it. Like, oh, you know, the autofocus works a lot better if you have it in this AFF mode. And it's like, why would that fucking matter? Like, it's still one guy in the frame. There was one guy in the frame and it couldn't go to his face. And we're going to blame that on the fact that it needed to be in the right mode. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, it wouldn't matter what mode any of my Sony cameras are in. If there is one guy right here on the screen, and if autofocus is engaged, no matter what stupid mode the camera's in, guess what, guys? It's gonna go to my face. Why? Because I'm the most prominent thing in the fucking image. The computer is so good, it knows I'm a face. It can see the eyes. That's why it has all the phase detect points. You know, and it's like, dude, the people arguing about this shit are insane to me. They're insane to think that like, you know, and here's the thing. It's fine. I don't care what you want to spend your money on. I am not sponsored by Sony. They have never sent me a fucking dime. I could give 2 fucks less about any of the people that work at Sony. Most of the people that are sponsored by them are assholes because they've attacked me on threads. I don't give a fuck about Sony and the Sony fanboys. But what I am telling you is that FX6 has saved my ass on more days than one. On so many instances. So many instances. Look, you asked, I tell, right? That's how this show works, right? But don't get it twisted. I don't give a fuck about Sony. They all know that too. They all know that. Their fanboys are out of control. They all are. Nikon and Sony, all the fanboys, every fanboy of every camera group, they're all insane. And the craziest, nuttiest shit to me is all these goddamn cameras are the same. You know what I mean? Except for the outsides. Like, what are the features? I am a huge, that's what we'll end it on. I will tell you that get the tool with the most enhanced features. Get the most features you can get for your dollar, because that is going to be the one thing that just saves your ass so many times. And to me, a camera like the FX6 is just so feature rich. But at this point, you might as well just wait till spring, because you're probably going to get something cool, you know, with your $12,000. You could certainly get the next new generation with your 12 grand, 100%. I don't think the new version is going to be more than 9. I don't, but I might put my foot in my mouth on that one. You know, you never know nowadays. It feels like everything has gone up, which it has. So, you know, it could be overinflated, as most things are, but fuck, you know, you can't even buy a stick of butter pretty much nowadays. Sony probably making everyone's sensor, to be honest. They are. They're making the Leica sensors. Sony have been making the Leica sensors since the M11. So 100% Sony makes the sensors. Sensor means less to me than the raw capability with color science. Yeah, well, it is true. It is true. And yeah, you can have that raw in the camera. Whereas with the Sony, you got to export it out. I've never done that. But I did say that in the video, though. I did say that you are losing out on the image quality. If you go the ZR route, you are gaining the image quality 100%. And I did admit that in the actual video. Image quality, but to me, you know, image quality is not my number one. I'm not concerned most about the image quality. I'm just not. I'm not, because I don't need to be. Because, you know, it just doesn't need to be a necessity for me. Not with like the level of quality that you can get out of almost any modern camera nowadays. You know, like, but the reality is the proof is in the pudding of raw. You know, ideally you would want the most you can get in terms of data, you know, because the whole reason for raw is to get closer to what I was saying earlier. Like, okay, like if we call these sensors a film stock, well, the closest you're going to get to a true digital negative is having raw, right? That is the closest you can get to a digital negative. So it's like, okay, raw does make sense, and it's a beautiful thing. But I guess that's just a personal question you have to ask yourself. You know, are you more concerned with like, dude, I need raw. I need raw. Like, is that more of a necessity to you than convenience is? Is that a bigger necessity to you than efficiency is? Are you always working with little crews? Like, if you never work alone, then you wouldn't have to. I guess if you're never by yourself, you wouldn't have to worry about convenience as much as like the next guy, you know? And I think that might have been one of the reasons, because with all the shutdowns, the strike, so much has happened out here where work got so crazy. And it's been like this for 2 years now. It got so Wild West out here. And I've always called it the Wild Wild West, but it is like a whole new level of like apocalypto out here, where it's like, man, the shit that you have to do nowadays. I was just having a conversation with someone about this too, where I was like, dude, I feel like I'm going backwards. Yeah, shout out to Matt Lale. I was talking to him about this, where I'm like, I'm going backwards, bro. Like the stuff I'm doing nowadays, and it's great. It feels so easy. It's so simple. It's like, oh, this is great. This is a cakewalk. But then on the drive home, you just feel so depressed, because you're like, dude, this is the stuff that I was shooting like 8 years ago. The kind of stuff, you know, and it's just because everything has become so competitive here. because the prices, here's the crazy shit. Here's the craziest shit to wrap your mind around. I don't know if you guys are feeling this in the countries or the states that you're in, but here in Los Angeles, right? Prices have skyrocketed on almost everything. And here's the crazy fucking thing. The rates have gone down. Rates have gone lower while the price to live has gone up. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? And when that happens, people get more hungry. People get more competitive. And it just gets, it's crazy right now to like try to get the kind of work that I was getting like 4 years ago. And then if I want to get the work that I was getting 4 years ago, I'd have to significantly cut my rate, which I've been doing, honestly. I've been doing it because I've been forced to do it. But then there's times that'll go by where you're like, dude, I just need something. So then you end up doing like the craziest weird shit. And you're like, dude, I'm going backwards, bro. And when that happened to me, when I felt that kind of happening out here, that climate, I was like, dude, I need a tool that I can just like get by on my own and not have to worry. Like if I don't want to worry about whatever, you know, like, or just like not even that, but also just like working quicker. Like, you know, because it's like, okay, if I got to do these jobs that like, I like don't want to do, like, how can I just make my day more better? You know, like how, so it's like, oh, I'll just get the tool that makes sense for the job, you know? But at the same time, yeah, man, I've shot narrative stuff on the FX6 since I've had it. Not nearly as much as I would like to, but that's because that stuff isn't coming around as much as it used to, you know? You can blame it on a lot of things, you know? I mean, the reality is I get pulled every which way from Sunday. So maybe the truth is that maybe there are certain things I'm leaving on the table without even realizing it, you know? But I think also the reality is like, that's just the nature of the climate right now, you know? You guys would have to let me know how it's going out there for all of you, but it's getting rough out this way. Rates are inversely proportional to the number of available jobs. Yeah. Come DP my movie, $200 for 16 hours. See what I'm saying? It is cutthroat right now. It really is. Yeah, see? Quality of life versus image quality for mid-tier client work. Give me quality of life. That's kind of where I'm at too, J-Mob. That is kind of where I'm at, man. Where I'm like, I just worry about myself, man. Like, you know, like, I think I've gone full Big Lebowski mode. You know, you've hit like midlife crisis. My midlife crisis is full Bukowski mode. It's just, you know, minus the alcohol, of course. But dude, like, it's like seriously. And that's just in terms of like, I'm like, nah, dude, it's cool, man. You know, like, no, you're good, dude. You got it, you know? Whereas, that is a bummer too, because it's like when you're younger, you are more hungry, you know? But the older I get less hungry, not meaning that I don't want the work or not that it's not that I'm not trying to get the work. But the problem is like when they come with the crazy ass rate, I just kind of like go, I guess I'm not really your guy. You know what I mean? Like I mean, I don't know. There's been a handful of times where I'll do it. Don't get me wrong. Look, if it's the day of, dude, I'll go shoot something for an hour for $100. I've done it. I've literally done it. The day of, if they're like, dude, will you go shoot this sporting event for me? I literally go do it. $100, less than an hour, right down the road. Yeah, I'll go do that. I've done it. And I don't feel bad about it because I'm like, I wasn't doing anything this day. And now I got 100, I got a little walking around money. You know what I mean? Like that's the way my brain goes because that's the way I am. So I'm still, to me, that's still acting hungry, right? But what I mean by it is like, I don't sit there and be like, okay, all right. Well, what if we do this and this, you know, like this negotiating back and forth shit. I don't really fuck with that no more. I'm like, I've really been doing this too. I've been going, hey man, what is your budget? Like, what are you thinking you want to spend on this? And what are you envisioning yourself spending on this? You'd be surprised how many people do not have an answer for that. Right? Like so many people have ghosted me on that question alone. And that's just like, well, that's fine. You know, they don't have any clue. They don't have a clue about fucking anything, right? But reality is they don't have a clue about like how much they should pay you, but also they don't have a clue about how much they want to pay you. Like they haven't even thought about it, right? And to me, that's always a bad sign, you know. Like, for me, it's better if someone does come with a crazy ass rate, and then, but the problem is like I'm not as hungry as I once was, so I just go, well, this is what I would normally charge, you know. That's what I do, man. I've been doing that to people where I'm like, you know, and that's like a horrible way of negotiating, where you're just like, that's what you're offering? This is what I usually make. You know? People hate that, right? But you can always like, obviously I don't end it with that, but it's just not, it's not a tactic for winning. Let's just say that, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. Negotiation tactics is a whole nother topic for another day, but yeah, man, letting things settle with AI and learning to improve health and get more soft skills, plus develop stories and learn manufacturing, some engineering. Yeah, man. This tier list isn't going to happen, is it? Scott Stevens said, you guys are getting paid. Okay, he's right. Look, let's get it done. We've been in here for an hour. I digressed a lot tonight. I apologize, guys. This is how I would go with AKS. Filters has to be S tier. Matte box, yeah, to me, matte box isn't that important as like the filters, unless you are getting, obviously I know you need the filter for the matte box, but maybe you don't need it, you know. But also, like, I would, what if okay, let's say this, you need all of these things. Let's look at the tier list like this. You need to buy all of these things. You just know that, okay, I need filters, I need matte box, I need monitor. You know that you need these things, but what is the importance of it in terms of like how much money am I going to invest in it? I think the most amount of money should be invested in the filters and the monitor. I do think the monitors should be given a good amount of money of investment. Like, in other words, what I'm saying here is don't skimp on filters and don't skimp on monitor. That's my opinions of it. Those are two things where I don't buy the generics of, right? But with matte boxes, even honestly, you might put this down on B tier. It's like, you know, even though as much as I love Bright Tangerine, at the same time, like, I'm not going to fault someone for buying some bullshit matte box. You know, it's just a matte box. It has like one job, just to hold a filter and to block the sun, right? So it's like, I wouldn't put a lot of money into a matte box. Because honestly, I did that too. I spent way too much money on Bright Tangerine shit. I will never get anywhere near that money back, right? Whereas monitors and filters, they should hold their value if you buy the good ones. If you buy the good ones, but they're not going to hold you the same amount of return on investment like lenses would, right? But monitor and filters, I never skimp on. Matte boxes, I didn't skimp on, but I'm telling you, you can skimp on them. You can skimp on matte box. You don't need to spend the creme de la creme price. It is worth it, but it's also not worth it, right? You're stuck with it. You're married with it. You're not going to get your money back on it when you invest in the Bright Tangerine products. You're just not. You're just not. So you don't have to get the best of the best when it comes to matte boxes. But then when you sit around and you think about the camera and the AKS, my thing is power. Like, power is so important to me. And what I mean by this is like the external power. External power is an AKS that cannot be ignored. And honestly, I might even put the filters on A tier, because this is how important the power is. The power to me is more S tier than the filters are. Like, because you need the power. You just do. Like, you need, again, the assurance, the insurance that you're constantly going to be running. And you just have to, I don't know, man. For me, I get whatever wooden camera makes, right? I get their little battery slide. To me, going from having these options on both the Komodo and the FX6, these have always been my go-to. I don't care what you guys use. Whatever you want to use. You can use the tilted thing, whatever it is. But this is something that you are going 100% to not want to skimp on, right? And this is why I've gotten the wooden camera ones, because I trust them because of the fuse protection. But again, it doesn't matter. I don't care what the fuck you buy, right? But for me, it's one of those things, like, I don't want to skimp on it, right? For me, I just don't want to skimp on the on the power, with all the issues that are arising nowadays with SDI, and even HDMI now is having problems with it too. I wish I failed to mention that in my SDI video, but HDMI has issues with this stuff. And look, they have it for almost nearly every camera nowadays. There's so many in here, I can't even find the FX6. I see the FX9, right? But like I'm just gonna take a picture of the FX9 one. Like it doesn't matter, right? Like to me, this is so important. This is probably, honestly, this is the next thing I get after I buy the camera. Like honestly, it is. Even with the FX6, like even as amazing of a tool that the FX6 has, it's like, well, I still want to have power where I can go very, very, very long time, right? Like, and also the biggest reason for it too is it opens up other outlines of, other outlets of power, right? You get 3 more DTAP ports, and here's the key one right there, that protective digital fuse. Can you see that right there? 3 DTAP ports and 1 protective digital fuse. You know, so for me, 100% power. It's not cool and sexy though, is it? No, it's not. It's not like a cool, sexy thing to have, but it's the thing that needs to be bought first. Even honestly, before the monitor. You know, to me, power is the #1 thing. Because also think about it, you can't do shit with the monitor until you get that. How are you going to power the monitor? You're going to be one of these wackos out there running Sony MPF batteries to everything. I love those pictures where they put the huge MPF battery on the monitor and the monitor's like leaning all the way back because the battery, the MPF battery is so big and heavy that it just pulls the monitor all the way back. It's like, dude, put a cable on that thing. What are you doing, dude? And this is literally the level that I would go. So who is our friend with the 12K fund, right? Just know that no matter which way you go, you're still, well, I don't know if you need monitor depending on, look, I run the FX6 without a monitor all the time. It is like shooting in the dark. I will admit to that. But with the ZR, ugh, dude, you don't need this. But also like, what are people doing for power on the ZR? Like, that's a really good question. Like, what are the power options for the ZR? Like, what are you going to do? Dummy battery, then cage with rails. You hear me out there, whoever we were having this conversation with, right? You know, all of that stuff. It's like, dude, wait, what's he saying? Wait, hold up. A shoebox would actually go hard. Oh, a tripod. Nah, dude. Nah, man. You guys already know my rant about tripods. I'm in the Robert Rodriguez circus there, dude. Tripod? Hell no. Tripod? Okay, dude. Tripod? Okay, dude. All right, I'll show you the tripod I have. I hate it. I hate it, by the way. Everyone hates it, too. Everyone that touches it hates it. You know, when I bought it, I'm like, damn, this is a badass tripod. But it's not. Look how expensive it is. Everybody hates this tripod. Everybody absolutely hates. This is the same one I have. Everybody hates this thing, including myself, honestly. Including myself. I'll put your tripod on here, but I'm going to show you where I put tripods. Because I'm not nice to tripods. And honestly, they literally, the only reason I use them outside of talking heads is to build the camera. Damn it, I missed the box. I use it to build my camera. That's it. D tier. Fuck those tripods. Dude, fuck those tripods, bro. I hate tripods. No, dude. Look, you need it. Look, at least it's on the list. You need it. Yeah, everyone hates the flowtech, dude. Everyone hates the flowtech. It sucks. It gets stuck. I don't know how to lube it up. I don't know how to make it flow again. It stopped flowing. It stopped flowing. It is like, I think it has so much sand inside of it. It's gnarly, bro. But also, it's just like when you want to go low with this thing, it's impossible to figure out. I have yet to figure out how to make this thing go low in less than 3 minutes. Like total low mode, I don't know how to do it. It always turns into like a 15-minute monkey fest of messing around with this thing to make it go completely low. I'm like, I don't understand how it works when you want to go like super, super low. We're always like monkeying with it for at least 10 minutes. It turns into the biggest embarrassment. Like every time someone says they want to go low, I'm like, can you just bring me an apple box and a sandbag, please? Because trying to get this thing to go low is a nightmare. And there's nothing more embarrassing to me than having people stand around, watch you fuss with gear. It is one of the most embarrassing things ever. And when that happens, this tripod has embarrassed me more than once. And I'm like, dude, just get it out of here. Bring me an apple box and a sandbag now. But look, if you're a big boy, you ain't spending no little $2,600 on this Sachtler flowtech. If you the big boy with them big deep pockets and that big 12K fund, you get one of these boys right here. You get you a real tripod. 28,000, bro. Get you a real tripod. And that's what Rodriguez says too. He goes, you like that tripod? It's a nice fancy tripod. You know what your camera's going to do? It's going to sit there. Oh, man. Yeah, dude, tripods suck, dude. D tier all the way. You need them, but that's the last thing I'm going to worry about, even though I spent way too much money on that flowtech. Like, what I was saying, several people have said their flowtechs get stuck. That's crazy because everyone says to get it. Like, how is this the best case scenario? It's because when you first get it, it's like genius, right? It's like super genius. You're like, and honestly, I think the new potato jet tripod is built like this too. Everybody has tried to make their knockoff version of it. So before I bit the bullet on this one, I had the Manfrotto first. I had the Manfrotto version of this. It is atrocious. It is so atrocious. They didn't even do theirs with levers. They did theirs with like screw-on things. Let me see if I can find it. What was it called even? It was such a flop, dude. Manfrotto wannabe flowtech tripod. It was so heinous. Here it is. Isn't that hilarious? It's the first thing that pops up. Even AI knows it's the wannabe flowtech tripod. That is so funny. But look, it's twist mode. It's twist mode. But see how cheap it is compared to the flowtech? So I got this one first. Oh, what a nightmare. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. That was a nightmare. That was a bigger nightmare than the flowtech. But if we back up here, you'll see, I'm almost positive, potato jets. No, it's Ulanzi. Ulanzi Zero. So see, Ulanzi's trying to make one. I think Peak Design tried to make one. Ulanzi. That's fun to say. Nah, dude, I don't think that's a good one. It looks like Peak Design is trying to make one. But I don't know, man. They're just, oh yeah, see, everybody's trying to make their version of it. It's a genius idea. It really is. But over time and overuse, because with Sachtler's case, these are carbon fiber. So it also is like super lightweight. That's one thing I'll give it. It is super, super lightweight. But so lightweight that it's a little scary, honestly. But over time, this carbon fiber just like turns into mush. Like, I don't know, like it just gets so wore out on the sides, you know, because you're constantly just like, rip, rip, rip. But maybe I'm just too hard on it, you know, because I'll rip this thing up and down with a full loaded camera on top. Just rip, rip, rip. I'll always do that. Maybe I wore mine out. Maybe I just wore it out. But it's like, I guess. I did read a thing where they said you could butter it up or something. It's no joke. Someone was saying you could put something on it, on the legs, on the inside legs. So see how it's like right here? These little legs slide up and down inside these big legs. And that's where the madness starts, you know? But they were saying you could put something on that. Let's see. Grease up a Sachtler flowtech. I did read this. I think it was on Reddit or something. They were talking about it. To grease a Sachtler flowtech. Yeah, see. Lubricate white lithium grease. But this is if you take it all apart. This guy has a whole how to clean your flowtech tripod video. So maybe I'll watch that. That's my Sachtler. We can't watch it on here though, because they'll freaking flag me. Still D tier all day long. To recommend one, I don't even have one to recommend. They're all crap, dude. Just, you know, honestly, they are until you're like, wow, until you're this guy. I think O'Connor makes smaller ones though. O'Connor have more like consumer friendly tripods, don't they? I feel like they do. They aren't all huge. Like, look at this one. No, that's Tilta. Like, here's a normal O'Connor one. 13 grand. Oh my God. Here's one for 4.5. But look, this is their flowtech knockoff. Even O'Connor made one. They put 13 grand on it. It's the same thing. It looks just like it, just all black. It's literally the same design down to the feet. Bro, they're charging all that money for that head. They're charging all that money for that head. I bet you that head is nice though. You are paying for the head on those O'Connors, which is good. This one for 4 grand is probably a pretty good tripod. Look at it. That's probably like the entry-level O'Connor right there. 45 hundo, boy. Yeah, that would be the one if you really care about tripods. Look, it's carbon fiber too. Looks like carbon fiber. Yep, carbon fiber, 2-stage. Yeah, buddy. That's the one right there, boy. Get you that O'Connor for 45 hundo. Have a good life. Your camera have a good life sitting there getting all them talking heads. But does the head work? On the Sachtler? Yeah, the head's cool. I love the head. Yeah, but it's a 75 mil, so I messed up right there. I got the 75 mil because it was cheaper at the time. So I spent more on the 75 mil Sachtler. I should have got the 1 hundo. But honestly, dude, you might just want to save your money, get that real one. I don't even know where it went now, but that's a lot, huh? $4,500 for a tripod? I don't know. I don't know too many people that are wanting to do that. Yeah, I'm just skipping the Sachtlers. Get the O'Connor, dude. That's used, though. This is used. Yeah, see, that's a good deal. Used. See, that's why it's so cheap. Personally, some things I can't live without. Quick release platforms, just a nice platform to hold my rods. Platforms, yeah, base plates, you're saying? Yeah, base plates is a good one to have on the list. Yeah, honestly, I put base plates above these ones. What do you guys use? I'll show you my... Dude, I use some knockoff base plate, boy. It's called 8-Sin. I kind of love it, though. This is why I love it. This is what I have. This is exactly what I have, guys. Look at it. And this worked on everything. This has been on everything since... I think I bought this back when I still had the Pocket 4K, even. Because all you have to do with this is adjust these riser plates. Yeah, it comes with the dovetail. That's why I love it. Oh, but you know what? Someone was talking shit about the dovetail. They were still like, honestly, it's not that smooth. Here's the problem. Oh, this one's better than the one I have. They made it better. This one was almost like, no, wait, this is the same one I have. No, this is better. They made it better. Okay, so this one is a little bit better than mine. I'll tell you the problem with mine is it has a huge gap back here and it gets caught on the dovetail. But this one is a solid piece. Does that make sense? So like the way mine is designed, this piece is thinner. No, is that the same one? Now I'm bugging out, dude. Is that the same one? Oh, it is the same one. Yeah. So these stick. These get hung up. I do love them, though. I love them for the dovetail, but they stick like crazy. The dovetail sticks because of the way it's designed on the inside. The latch of these. So there's a safety latch. And here's the biggest flaw of this. As much as I love this, there is a design flaw. And it comes down to this. So if you look here, notice that the lock for the dovetail is also a part of the mechanism that loosens the rails, right? So they're wedged in there together, okay? And what happens is that little wedge gets stuck when it comes through when it goes through the next slot. Is that making any sense at all? So like it has to go through 2 slots. You understand what I'm saying? But this thing gets stuck when it comes to, because of the way it's designed. I'm not making any sense, and I apologize, but it was one of those things where you'd have to like demonstrate it, you know, for it to make sense. Because in theory it should work, but it doesn't. The little latch inside gets caught as it's passing through. But I do love these. I love them because it's fully customizable. So what I mean is like this part, see those little bolt heads there? Those little tiny Allen keys, that pops off. And they make like 3 different sizes. So you can put this thing on any camera, right? And back in the day when I got it, I was obsessed with grips. So I was like, cool, it has the grips for the ARRI rosettes. And yeah, man. And I've just had it for so long. And the dovetail is really cool. I will admit that. But honestly, guys, I think the way to go nowadays, like, because this is also like a waste of money, you know, because really what we should be getting is the VCT plate. You know what I mean? Like, and this is like, someone even called me out on this. They're like, dude, you're like, you know, you just need like a good, and it's true. Like this, especially with the FX6, right? And this is just something that I've never just pulled, you know, bit the bullet on. And what makes these so good is because like this system, but you know, I think Small Rig makes one now. They used to anyways. And the small rig one was the most tempting because usually these things are a little bit pricey. Yeah, look, the small rig one is only $144. Look, even the newer one is only $200. This is a steal for these things, right? Because the ones that Shape make and all the other brands, these are really, but this is the way to go, man. This is what you should be getting for your, for all your cameras, right? You just should. This is so convenient. And like, I fought this for the longest time. I still haven't pulled the trigger on this. I have to do this one day because this is the final key to boss mode of pure like comfort, you know, like, because this is all in one. That little latch right there connects to the whole thing. Boom, right? So you have to buy another piece, right? So there's another piece that you buy for your tripod, right? So then you have to get the plate, right? So this is actually what's on your tripod that this thing snaps into. This is like, I mean, most of you will already know like this is the way, but a lot of people don't know that this is the way. And even if you do know that this is the way, if you're like me and you've been fighting it tooth and nail, but the reality is this is so slick. You know what I mean? Like this is really like I said, this is the final secret ingredient to your build, your tier list, you know? So I'm glad that you brought up base plates because this is what I should have been, oh, I screenshotted, I meant to save it. This is what I should have been buying all along, you know? And I don't care. I don't care if you don't have like a normal kind of camera build. Any camera should have this, right? And you can, because think about it. All this is a rig, right? Like, so think about like your cage, right? Like it doesn't matter what base plate you have for your ZR, it's all going to be built this way. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's one of the reasons why I got out of the hybrid world, because the hybrid cameras are growing the opposite way of the way the cameras should be growing, right? So how the FX6 is, it's growing long ways. It's not growing sideways, right? The long ways is just more ideal for the kind of handheld kind of stuff that I do, right? Which is funny because like, obviously the box style camera is a lot of fun handheld as well. But that's the kind of funny thing about the FX6, you know, like it can be more than just box style because it literally also is a cube. It's literally a cube. You know, when you take all this crap off it, it is a cube. It is a cube, right? It's just a more kind of computer looking cube, but it is a cube, you know, and I think people forget that, right? So, but it doesn't matter, like, because I know what some guys are going to be thinking, like if you have a hybrid camera, like a ZR or something, and you're looking at this, you're like, well, that would be ridiculous with my little camera. But anything you do with that camera is going to be ridiculous, in my opinion, right? Because everything you have is going to be long like this. Your tripod is long. The base plate you put it on is going to, you know, in other words, like you put a base plate under the FX6, dude, the whole base plate is under the camera. You know what I mean? You put a normal base plate under any hybrid camera like a ZR or something, and it's going to be sticking way out because the camera is, you know, built the wrong way, right? It's super thin and then really wide like a, you know, but so this to me is like, I'm just trying to tell you, like, it doesn't matter. Like if you're thinking it wouldn't make sense, it doesn't matter because nothing that you do for your hybrid camera is going to make sense, right? In terms of a rig build because of the shape of the camera. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But yeah, this for me, like, look, I have not, I feel like this is like final boss mode. I feel like it is S tier. And then I feel like monitor, as much as I do want to prioritize monitor, but I think I seriously need to put the matte box down here. Cause again, I don't care, even though like I have the best of the best, I don't care. Like, I don't think it's important to have the best of the best matte box. They literally have one job. Honestly, I think as crazy as this sounds, I am going to put monitor underneath filters because I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. Monitor is pretty important, but also I don't use them as often as I used to. I just don't. I don't use my small HD as often as I used to. And I don't know if it's just because like I'm getting lazy or like I just don't want to use it or what, but I don't think monitors are as important as they once were. Obviously, that sounds crazy, but look, like I know everyone has the ZR, like the people that have the ZR, I don't think they're going to need to worry about monitor. You know, like seriously, like when you start seeing like the future of these monitors, but I mean, I have an FX6 and I still don't ever, maybe I rig up my monitor 50% of the time, and I have an FX6. That LCD screen is not great, you know, but I'm just like, I kind of don't always need it. You know, I have the waveform. Sometimes the waveform is good enough for me, but also like the FX6 lets me know if I'm clipping or if I'm crushing. It literally, it'll blink at me and say, hey man, highlight clip or shadow clip or whatever it says. So that's kind of nice. Like that's kind of like my cheap go-to of not having to worry about a monitor, you know, so much. But I do think, like, isn't this funny? Like the most boss mode of this whole thing is like very unsexy, cool things. When you think about it, it's like, oh, power in this fucking VCT plate. But I do think that those are like super important in terms of the build, right? To the point where like I have never even invested in one of these VCT plates, but I know it's because of like kicking and screaming. But, and I don't know, I think what a lot of it is too, like I equate these things to ENG cameras. Right? But the reality is the FX6 is an ENG camera, let's be real. But the reality is like, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't need to be that in your brain. Also, what's so wrong with an ENG camera? You know, like you don't need to have such negative connotation about the kind of tool it is, even if it's not, even if that's like a dumb idea. It's like, but there is that little hang up in my brain where I'm like, ew, I can't put that on my camera. But it's like, no, dude, you need this. This is the most convenient thing to just go boom, 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 boom. You will always have a shoulder pad. And look, I don't even always shoot shoulder. I mean, not often, right? But when you need that, it's so stellar, man. Just boom, instant, just to chill even. Just think about how many times you just chill with your camera on your shoulder, you know, and just to have that built in as part of the system of just like snapping on and off, it's just genius, you know? And I think it is kind of slept on. You know, and I know for guys like me, for some reason, like we fight against it. And it's like, nah, it's the way, man. It's just the way. And I used to always kind of be like, man, that's just for like diehard documentary guys that shoot everything on the shoulder. But I think that's just bullshit thinking, man. Because there's been so many times where I've tried to figure out ways to put a shoulder pad on all of my cameras. And you guys probably have too. And it's just so dumb. It looks dumb. It's not efficient. The weight is off. And it's like, this is the only way to do it. Like the VCT plate is literally the only real way to do it. And unfortunately, you know, you just got to bite the bullet. But with this small rig option, I mean, that is friggin' cheap. It's like 300 all in. 300 for all in the kit, right? Because you need both parts. So when you think about what it is, that's really not much when you think about what it is. Because this is something that you will have forever on every camera. You can take this, and that's one of the things about the filters too. So if we get a little, now what if we start building the tier list like that? What if we start building the tier list in terms of like what you can take with you? So filters and VCT plate, you can take with you on every camera. I don't know if that's fair because you could take all of this shit on there. But maybe I pushed the power one down to A tier because like as important as it is, it's also like one of those things where it's almost like you gotta buy something new every time for the camera. Like each new camera you get needs like the new power thing for it. That's kind of what sucks about like the whole cinema rig thing. You know, it's like, okay, now if you want to put gold monitor V-mount, it's going to need its own special battery plate. You know, the only way to get around that is if you build your own like, you know, kind of DIY thing and put it on your own rails or something. But then it's just like, the problem with that is you don't get that fuse protection. You know, you're more prone to maybe popping something, blowing something out. So that's why I say, you know, that's why I spend a little bit more money to get that fuse protection. You know, we already ranted about that, but it's like, but at the same time, you can't take it with you to the next camera. So I think I do have to float it down onto the A tier with the filters because it's like, and honestly, I might swap it with the monitor because monitor is like one of those things where like if you buy the good one, you'll have it for any camera, anytime, anywhere. The power is just one of those things where you're like, fuck, dude, like, it basically has to go with the camera. It's one of those investments where you go, you need it, but then you know, like you're going to have to, when you go to resell that camera, that's going to be one of those things where you're like, and I'll include this, but at the time you paid like $500 for it or something crazy. And you're like, now I'm just like including that in the resale value. You're like, oh no, dude. But Yeah, man. I guess we're getting down towards the nitty gritty here. Bro, VCT is not S tier. If you handed your camera to a grip on a film set and had them rigged to a car or something, they would ask you for dovetail or tell you to take that thing off. Really? VCT has been in use since the 90s. I'm getting a tobacco filter right now. Do it. I don't use VCT. I have a 10-inch dovetail plate setup rigged out. Me too, dude. Me too. Yeah, maybe you guys will convince me otherwise. You know, because it is just like, it is who we work with the most. Just lately, man, I've seen a lot of guys with these VCT plates, and it's very tempting. And people have been poking a little bit of fun at me, man. They know who they are. People have been poking fun at me for not having VCT plate, and I'm like, ugh. You know, in the moment, I'm all like, I don't want that documentary shit. You know? Meanwhile, the bulk of the stuff I shoot is documentary. That's my defense. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, man. Maybe you're right. Okay, what if I put that on B tier? You know what, then? I'm just going to, like, put mine on there, then. I'm going to put the one I have on there. Mine is the 8-sin one. I don't think mine's S tier, though. Mine is shite, man. But I do like the dovetail, but it is flawed a little bit. What am I doing? 8-sin base plate. I mean, this is literally what I have. This is literally what I have. So I'll put it on the thing. But that's interesting to get your guys' perspective on the VCT plates, because I always thought, like, dude, that's the way. But yeah, I do think, I keep doing that. I do think that these are very important. I mean, obviously, you got to have it. So kudos to whoever brought that up. But maybe you're right. Maybe VCT plate is not as cool as I've been forced to believe it is. But also, I'm not going to put my riser plate on the thing. Man, I'm fucking this up, bro. It should be... Honestly, why are we bullshitting? The monitor should be S tier. The monitor is the most important thing. And then filters, and then your base plate, then your power. I'll put the VCT down here then. What if I put the VCT down there on the C tier with the matte box? And then your fucking tripod. VCT is used heavy in broadcast and dock work. Yeah, I know. It is so convenient, though. I kind of want a VCT. I have 10. Oh, yeah, dovetail with massive rods, and kind of have to admit the quick shoulder mounting would be nice. It's so good. Yeah, the shoulder mounting is the reason why I want it too. Bright Tangerine left field platform is gold. Yeah, people, I remember that. Bright Tangerine left field. Bright Tangerine. Okay, we got to wrap this up soon. Left field. Oh, yeah, this shit. Ooh, yeah, this is big money, though. Big money. Big money. Oh, you talking about this one right here? They make one, too. Big money. We got big money over here. Bright Tangerine, go on. Red 640 now. Actually, this is cheap. This is cheap for a, this is very cheap for Bright Tangerine stuff. This must be old stock here. This must be very old stock. Because I feel like with Bright Tangerine's name on this would be like $1,200. This has got to be old stock, dude. I don't do film set production anyway. I say work with what works best for your workflow. Commercial work is so specialized anyway. VCT is easier to break down. Should we do the monitor versus viewfinder debate? Ooh, I know, man. Dude, I've been looking hard at those Zacutos lately, dude. Dude, I always come back to the Zacuto, man. The Zacuto had my heart for so long. The Chameleon EVF Pro. Oh my, oh, whoa. She stole my heart. Look, it's temporarily out of stock, though. These things are gone. These things are gone, dude. Because Zacuto is like one of the last true American companies. They can't like keep anything in stock. And then sadly, the tariffs did them in probably. But this thing is like gold. Should we see if they're on eBay right now? These things were so gold, man. They don't have any. They don't have anything. What? Nothing Zacuto at all? They don't have anything with the word Zacuto in it on eBay. What is going on? A Zacuto shoulder rig. That thing probably weighs 200 pounds. Yeah, the Gradical? Of course, dude. I love the Zacuto EVFs. This one? Yeah, it's almost like the Chameleon, but it's smaller, right? But this one is not, I know, I want the Chameleon too, bro. This one is not a, I like how small this one is, though. I do like how small this one is. This one is very cool. 3G SDI. Okay, what's the difference though? Hold on. Where'd that chameleon go? I want to see what is the difference here. Chameleon versus Gradical. What is the biggest difference here, guys? Do we know? I don't think the Gradical has HDMI. I think it's only SDI. Yeah, this one's only SDI, which honestly makes it kind of cooler. I just like how small it is. I love how small it is. Like just this little bubble. I love that. But yeah, the chameleon is obviously like the boss mode one. Like clearly. Like look at it. It's got a fan built into it. This thing's nuts. The Kinefinity EVF? Can you put it on any camera or is it only for the Kinefinity? Doesn't it kind of look like these? I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it looks just like them. They stole it, dude. They stole the design, bro. They even stole the color scheme. Oh my God, they stole the color scheme. 2 HDMIs, but no SDI? Boo. Boo this man. 2 HDMIs, no SDI. Or is that an SDI on the side? No SDI, dude. No SDI. Immediately out. Immediately out. Oh, man. Here's one. Here's one. This one's SDI. This one's SDI. They stole the design. I can't believe they did that. Ooh, I like this, though. Built-in diopter. Oh, does the Zacuto have built-in diopter? Ooh, it does. Wow, it does. This one does, too. Oh, I never noticed that before. I like that built-in diopter like that. They totally stole the design. That's crazy to me. That is so crazy to me. But you know what's wrong? You know what's not good about this? Fabric. Fabric where your eyeball goes. Ew. And then when you're sweating, that's how you get pink eye. That is literally how I saw a guy get pink eye from an EVF. He got pink eye on set from an EVF. It was an ARRI Alexa rental, and the DP got pink eye from the EVF, guys. It happens. Fabric EVF, boo. That's why I kind of like the rubber one. It's not like it doesn't feel good on your face, but you're not going to get like, you know, pink eye. Yeah, man. Kinefinity works on the ZR. So they work on they work on other cameras? I don't know though. I mean, at that price, dude, I mean, look at the price though. I would just get the Gradical. I would get this over the Kinefinity one. I would get this. I don't know why, but I have more faith in this. The original. Plus I like the little eyeball look of it. I like that it's a little eyeball. Yeah, but it is a bummer. This one is not HDMI. This you could not use on the ZR. So yeah, you'd have to get one of these Kinfinities. Did they make one that looks like an eyeball? Nah, they all look like the chameleon. There's that crazy one, but that one is nuts. Look at that one. This one is nuts. Wait, why does it have antennas? Why does it have antennas? Is it wireless? Is it wireless? Wait, what is this? I think this is also a transmitter of some kind. What is this? What is this, dude? So weird. What are the antennas for? What is it transmitting? It doesn't say what the antennas are for. Oh, it's got built-in Wi-Fi, allowing photographers to monitor and control the image from the camera directly through the Zcam app. Wait, what? This feature is particularly useful for utilizing the autofocus one-shot feature where you can simply tap the screen to focus on your desired subject? What? Why would you want to... Wait, I do not understand this at all. They're saying that this thing connects to the app, so you'd be looking at the image in the app rather than the actual image on the camera? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would... That's like, okay, talk about including the middleman. Like, why would you even need this? You're just using this to look at what's on your phone? I don't understand, dude. Like, that's so weird to me. Their autofocus only works with their app? This is what I mean. This company is so weird. Like, what the hell is going on? Buy this $845 EVF so it can have Wi-Fi and transmit what is shown on the app versus like what's actually just on the camera. Like, think about the mad lag there. Think about how much apps are glitchy. Now think that the app has to send that to the monitor. I'm so confused. But also, like, this is also plugged into the camera at the same time. Like it's so bizarre. But I guess you need the app to take advantage of the touch autofocus. I don't get it, dude. This is like way too convoluted for my little brain, dude. What the hell, man? That is really weird. Also, I do not want more antennas sticking off of my rig. No, thank you. No, thank you. Weird. That was a bit of a rabbit hole there. Zacuto has better mounting, 100%. Wireless, so you don't have to have your head near the camera. I guess. But what's the point of an EVF then? Then you just walk around. Like, you literally just walk around with this thing. That would be so funny, man. Just walking around with this thing in a headset. Just your eye plugged into there all day. And you have an operator. You're just talking to your operator and you're looking through this thing. I don't know. Maybe it's nice just so people don't come stand over your shoulder. Like, he's just over there with his eye shoved in that thing all day. Oh, man. Yeah, Zacuto does have better mounting. America. Yeah, Zacuto has way better mounting. I don't know why. I love this little one. It's a bummer that it's SDI only, because then you're like, well, I mean, it wouldn't be a bummer for me, but like, you know, if you wanted to use it on a different camera, you're kind of screwed. That's a used Zcam EVF price too. These are all used prices. Wow. Oh yeah, Adorama. Well, yeah, I imagine that's an old model. This is a special order though. Look, they even tried to copy the mounting of it. That's crazy to me. Oh my good grief. Oh my good grief. All right, man, this is it. This is what you came for. Oh, pathetic tier list, dude. We went down too many rabbit holes. I was feeling too bummed out tonight, guys. I really wanted to roast all the commenters. I wanted to just have a good old time roasting commenters, but I didn't want to bring all that negative energy up. I didn't want to read all the comments because not all of them are good. So then I was like, all right, I don't want to do that. And then I was like, this for some reason in my brain sounded a lot better than what it actually is. But the problem with it is like I said at the beginning, like all of these need to have their own individual tier list. So I guess that's the future of the lives. We can do a tier list on monitors. We should do a tier list on filters though. I think that would be a rad video. But I gotta get all my filter videos ready. We gotta have all the footage to review. Dude, that thing would be rad for tinkerers who want to make crazy custom builds. I'm talking about the Raspberry Pi people. Yeah, dude. 100%. This crazy thing? Yeah, dude, 100%. But yeah, so, you know, if you're out there building your rig, this is the order of purchases for me anyways, you know? I think 100% that makes sense. First thing, honestly, it's not though. Honestly, it's not. Power is still the first thing I think about, dude. Power is still the first thing I think of. That's the first thing I thought about when I first got my FX6. I said, dude, what? I got to get another battery slide. I just included that in the cost of it. I had to, because that's the first thing I thought of. Because to me, that's the most important, you know? And then honestly, base plate too. So yeah, I'll leave the base plate on the A tier because that is true. That's the very next thing that I do. And then honestly, regarding the FX6, I kind of stopped there because I already had my small HD. I've obviously already had my filters, but like if you're someone that doesn't have these items, then yeah. But in that regard, like I do think that the monitor is pretty dang important, but I don't know. Yeah, I think I would do it like this. I think it would go power, monitor, base plates, filters. Filters to me are super important. Maybe not to everybody, but to me, filters are pretty important part of the AKS package. And then all this dumb stuff. We don't have anything in the B tier though. But there's like plenty of bullcrap that's missing. But these are like the big items, right? You know what I'm saying? These are the items that you absolutely need. But you need a, depending on the camera though, you might need like a grip, you know? So you would have to figure out, and maybe that's what would go in the B tier. You would need like the crane. Where's the crane go? It goes in the yard. It goes outside where it belongs. Don't talk to me about these gimbals, bro. Good memory. Oh, yes. No media on that list. Good point. We forgot the media, dude. It's cooked. As most of my lives go, this one, as the young kids say, is cooked. This tier list definitely got cooked. I love that. Like, I still get comments on some of the old lives, like, this tier list is cooked. Still to this day. I love getting like random comments on old live videos. That's the best, dude. Yeah, media is pretty important. What are you guys using? You want to know what I'm using? Because they give them to me for free? Okay, let's see what I have in the FX6 here. I have two random ones, and they were both given to me, by the way. So Chip Fancier, actually Chip Fancier is really good though. Those Chip Fancier ones, I will push those all day long. There are links to them at justinfilm.com/connect. Okay, if you want to see, justinfilm.com/connect. And then I have these Per Gear ones. This was given to me too, but the Per Gears aren't as good. I'm gonna tell you why the Chip Fancier ones are so insane, dude. Because they have a lifetime warranty. Lifetime warranty on these Chip Fanciers. Okay, so this is where you go if you want to get the deal. justinfilm.com/connect. This is where I put all my partner links. One nice fell swoop for everybody wanting to support the show. I know. But you go down here and it's in here with, look at all this. I'm such a slut. Look at all, Chip Fancier Media. Chip Fancier Media. Here it is. Dude, this memory is insane though, dude. First of all, look at the price. I mean, like when I first heard about this, I'm like, yeah, okay, send it to me. Let's send it to me. Let's see that. But guys, I think I did some shorts on it. I did some shorts on it and I mentioned it in a couple of videos. Obviously, I'm not going to do a whole, and I told them that too. Like, I'm not going to do a whole video dedicated to media. Although I guess, you know, you could pull it out of your ass. But like me, I'm like, I'm not doing that. I don't care about that. But honestly, the readings, if you can find the shorts that I made on it, the readings are really good, man. They really are. They're really impressive little cards. But the most amazing thing is, beyond being actually 400 VPG rated or whatever it's called, they have the rating, so it's not going to give off the signal in your camera. Pretty dirt cheap, but a lifetime warranty. Guys, that's the most insane part about these chips. Lifetime warranty on these chips, and some of them are water resistant. Like, it's insane, dude. These cards are insane. But yeah, you're right. Media is definitely S tier. You can't do anything without the media. Yeah, this one got cooked, boys and girls. But this is what I use. But you know what? In my other cameras, I have Angel Birds and ProGrade. I think on the A7C II, I use ProGrade cards. And then on my little baby pocket camera, I use Angel Birds. Got the Angel Birds for the pocket camera. But yeah, these Chip Fancier ones are insane. I mean, you can't go wrong. When you're talking about media, lifetime warranty, I mean, I feel like, whoa, they got crazy with that one, bro. I mean, that's putting a lot of faith into what they're selling, you know? To me, I think that's a really good sign. But yeah, man, that's the media I use. But you are right. Media is 100%. It goes power, then, I mean, obviously those two go together. So honestly, I'm going to put monitor down here. Honestly, I think I'm gonna put this bitch on B tier. I'm gonna put the riser plate on B tier because that's kind of like last minute kind of thinking. Like, I don't care about base plate that much. I mean, it is important, but I think like maybe I'm putting too much into the filters nowadays. I guess for me, filters are that important, but maybe for more people, they're not as important. I don't know. I just hate seeing that fucking base plate above the filters, though. Honestly. SSD NAS for the win with 10 gigabits. Quick tap with red CF Express Type B is what I'm working with. I just want to change to the newer reds for the media change. Yeah, I think you do. Oh, yeah. He picked up 2 terabyte OWC V4 cards for his ZRs. Wowzers. Wowzers. This brand name for the cards. Gotta love China. No, I know, dude. It Chip Fancier and Per Gear. Yeah, man. But you know what? You know, I test them out. Like, look, I'm still using the damn things. These ones are badass. I'm not going to lie. I'm still using them. They're good. They're good. I like Angel Bird. Yeah, Angel Bird is solid. Angel Bird and ProGrade, those are the only other ones I trust. Other than before these guys sent me theirs. Oh, I have the Sony ones, but that's because it came with one of the cameras I bought once. 256 gigabytes is way too small. LOL. I've been getting comfortable with the 4K R3D workflow, and it runs about 75 gigs for every 15 minutes of footage. See, that's why. That's another reason why I stay away from that stuff, man. That's a lot. That is very, very, very hardcore. Okay, guys, that's it. That's the 2-hour mark. I can't believe we spent that much time, but we really didn't. It was my fault. I drifted away as I do often. So we'll work on that. But I think this is a pretty good place to start in terms of like, you just bought your camera and your lens. Now you got to figure out, you know, everything else. I think that's okay. It's very base. This is like, oof, we were good before this existed, Justin. Oh man, that's funny, guys. All right, hit the like button, man. Thank you guys for coming out. We will see you in the next one. Have a good week, man. Get those jobs.